Welcome, sentient beings from all known universes and beyond. It's time to activate your cranial downlinks and prepare to receive a raft of discussion on a cosmic ocean of science fiction and fantasy topics, interviews with local area genre devotees, and insightful prognostication by our soothsayers of science fiction, our forecasters of fantasy, and any other beings that happen to get caught in our gravity well. This is the Galactic Driftwood Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. I'm Bill.
I'm John.
I'm Charles.
I'm Audie.
And I'm Seth.
And we're here with a lot to talk about this week. I think starting with the premiere of the new Doctor Who episode, right?
Yes. Yes. Hard for me to talk about that after our teledildonics warm-up that we were doing a few minutes ago, but and that sounds a lot weirder than it probably is. You know, it's like, because that's the first thing.
I think you should probably clarify and let people know that, no, you didn't actually order one and you weren't warming it up.
I was just going to let their imaginations run wild.
We weren't warming up any teledildonics with you.
No.
Correct.
I'm sorry,
No,
audience.
if that's what you want to say, I'll keep the secret. It's all good.
I suppose we were talking about our clear rating.
Yes.
Yes, and the fact that it's ever more in jeopardy with each episode.
Like, all right. Where's your apple finger? I don't know. There goes our rating right there. It's gone forever.
I don't lower that down
think
a
just
little
saying
bit because you're going to block
finger,
your face
as
on
soon
the
as
camera.
we show the picture, though.
Oh God, yeah. But
no pictures.
Did you see it?
Yes. In fact, Audie and Charles and I watched it together here. We got together for a Game of Thrones marathon last Sunday and paused in the middle to watch the premiere of Doctor Who.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
No,
apple
I
finger.
think we're back on Doctor Who now.
Oh yeah, let's go back to Doctor Who.
Yes.
All right.
Keep us in the safe zone.
Although that would make an awesome Doctor Who villain and fits right in with their budget.
Who would?
It's like,
Apple finger?
Yeah, just a little iPhones creeping along.
Kind of
Yes.
like a James
in the
Bond
Doctor.
villain.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, they did have, speaking of that, they did have a new alien species this time that came from over 5,000 galaxies away.
Which is an interesting way to measure distance. But
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even know how if there's a standardized galaxy distance that they're
Yeah,
talking
there's
about.
probably not. Because there are clusters of galaxies, right?
Yes.
And you could have 5,000 galaxies in a single cluster.
Yes. So that would make it much shorter.
I would
Right.
go with the literal. It was 5,000
Jumps.
hopping jumps, yeah.
That
Whatever
would be a
that
long
means.
way away.
I mean, Doctor Who and science aren't always
Yeah. Hand in
lockstep
hand.
with each other. Yeah.
True. So the alien's name was Sim Shaw,
Yeah.
Tzim. But the doctor, she kept calling him just Tim.
Yeah.
And he kept trying to correct her. It's Sim Shaw.
Yeah.
She said, Tim Shaw. All right, Tim Shaw. Tim! Tim!
Yeah. I kept thinking of him as Slim Shady. Because
Yeah.
it just stuck in my head.
Yeah.
It's like-
Although the Slim Shady himself does not have his face embedded with teeth of his prey.
You don't
Yeah, I
know
couldn't
that.
get past the teeth.
Yeah, that
would
was
make
kind of...
him much more interesting.
Yeah, so this alien... So Seth did not see the premiere.
No,
Missed it.
I'm behind in my Doctor Who. I'm still going through the Capaldi years.
Ah, gotcha. Well, so this new alien species, and I'm going to have to look up the name. I can't remember what they were called. I think it started with an S. But anyway, that species, they're hunters. And when they kill a prey, they steal one of the prey's teeth, and then they embed it in their face.
Like you do.
Oh, of
Well,
course.
Well,
And
I mean, the human use of teeth goes back a long way, like at least 40,000 years. They don't put it on their face, but they make necklaces out of teeth to steal the power of creatures and fellow humans. So it's like to ensure guardian protection.
What?
So this is an ancient human way of doing things.
Right.
In terms
What
of
did?
Because now he's limited to hunting things with teeth.
I was gonna say, what do they
Yeah.
do if they kill something without a tooth, or just like one really big tooth?
well, you don't hunt
No.
fish.
Or chickens.
Well, you've
Some
got
fish have
over
teeth.
5,000.
Yeah.
You've got 5,000 galaxies to go through. I mean, surely you're going to kill something without a tooth, or with a tooth that's large enough that would probably kill you if you tried to put it in your face.
I'm sure there's a subset of things they can
Yeah.
cut
A
off.
scale, a beak,
Put it on your head.
tiny toe digit. I don't know. Something tiny it's a token of battle.
But then it has to go in your face, and if it's not a tooth, it ruins the whole aesthetic you're going for.
Maybe the face is the pockets they have. I don't know. That's just like how they carry stuff. I don't know.
I
It's
didn't
like,
see,
We'll
so
have to
I don't
find
know.
out.
So
later.
well, yeah, because they took off his mask and literally there's teeth embedded in his face.
Well,
It's like
I was inquiring minds want to know how the episode was.
it was.
I thought it was
I liked it.
entertaining. Yeah.
It
now,
was. It was
It was
basically a
commercial
showcase.
heavy.
Oh god, it was.
that
commercial heavy.
said, yeah, they took like a 50-minute show, stretched it out to an hour and a half so they could fit in 40 minutes of commercials.
Which capitalism?
Yes,
It's
and
capitalism.
None of which were about toothpaste.
None of which.
Surprisingly.
that's a no-brainer. Yeah, that's low-hanging
Okay.
fruit right there.
right.
And
And-
I get it.
The one thing that
Ah,
the one thing that I really hated about the episode was they would go to commercials and you'd get like, 3 to 5 minutes of commercials. And then they would come back to the show. But they weren't really coming back to the show. They were coming back to a 5-second clip of a scene that you're about to see
Yeah.
in the upcoming short little segment of show.
that was chafing.
You would see the so you'd unmute so you could start watching the show, and then all of a sudden 5 seconds was over and they were back to commercials again.
Yeah.
And then after another 3 minutes of commercials, they'd go back to the show and it would go on, and then midway through that next segment of the show, you would see that little 5-second clip that you just saw.
That is awful.
Very awful. I think I said more than once a paywall would have paid for itself by now because
Yeah.
it was very aggravating.
Well, I
So
know.
it made you more pro paywall.
Yes,
Oh.
definitely.
I know you're
And
against.
I think Charles too.
Too, yeah,
And
no.
and Audie.
Yeah.
Audie's like, yeah, I would definitely go with the paywall at this
Especially
point.
after that show.
Yeah.
I know you're against paywalls, but I would gladly pay $10 a month to watch my TV shows without advertisements.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No brainer.
I would too.
Instantly.
I
I just
pay-
watched a movie that I'd seen before.
Yeah.
They cut entire long scenes out of the movie.
Just so they could
so
fit
they
in
get in more
commercials.
commercials, yeah.
But I would pay more. I'd pay $30, $40, $50 to watch all my shows. I don't want, all the paywalls.
Yeah.
I want just maybe
Well,
one, maybe two, maybe.
if
but
you're
it's
paying-
like all the paywalls. You're talking about a BBC paywall now.
Yeah.
To
Well-
go with the Netflix, Hulu, DC paywall, the new Disney paywall. All these are the paywalls.
You don't have to pay for them all at the same time. You
I-
can pay 30 or 40 a month and get like 4 paywalls until you're like, oh, there's something on this other paywall I want to watch, and then stop one and start another.
But I don't
That's
want
what
to.
we.
That sounds like work.
That
have
sounds
to
lazy.
Think about it.
And to not watch advertisements, I'm willing to do a little work
Yeah.
to click a few buttons,
Well, you're a better man than I am.
unsubscribe, resubscribe.
You're a better man
No
than
ads.
It seems rather simple.
John
or
wants
just
a package deal where
Yeah,
I'll,
or
I'll
all
pay
the paywall, yeah.
a larger paywall if somebody
Yeah.
else does all the.
I need a paywall.
so
Yeah.
you want is cable TV without the crappy channels.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Right?
I would
yes,
go for that.
I
would
do.
pay yearly for that one.
Yeah, I would. It's like, yes. It's like I don't need 37 cooking channels and then
Right.
the same 37 cooking channels in Spanish.
Right.
I just need what
Yes.
I want.
Right.
The things I want.
Right.
Is that too much to ask?
Apparently,
Yes.
apparently.
Well, were there any Doctor Who parts that they missed? Because this was an intro for new people such as me.
Right.
Yeah.
I got introduced to the two hearts. Don't know why.
Yep.
Bigger on the inside.
Well,
I learned that
Oh, they
there was
haven't
no
actually yet.
TARDIS. It was a TARDIS-free episode.
They're going to probably find it in this next one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because
But
she,
I
she
did
fell out of her
learn-
TARDIS, crashed through the roof of a train.
I
I
think-
did learn
Like
that
you
the
do.
TARDIS was not a phone booth per se,
Yes.
per se.
even though everybody in the pre-Doctor Who party
Yeah.
kept calling it a phone booth.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's basically a booth with a phone. It is not a phone booth. It's a police call box.
Yes.
And it's designed, at the time, they were designed for police to be able to lock up criminals in a box until the paddy wagon could come and transport them to the jail.
But the
So-
TARDIS has a camouflage,
Yeah, the TARDIS has a
algorithm,
chameleon circuit.
and it's broken. And
Right.
all it does is the police box. So
Right.
that is the history. of
However, and this
It also cuts
It's
down on the special
fascinating to
effects
me.
budget.
that. Yes, it does. They're good at that.
this was fascinating to me, is that in one of the 11th Doctor episodes with the silence, they took the TARDIS and they landed it in the Oval Office. Okay?
I remember that.
Yes. And we found out that the TARDIS has an invisibility cloak that works. Right? So they turn on the invisibility cloak, they land in a corner of the Oval Office, and of course nobody there, Secret Service, and nobody sees it because it's invisible.
And then it was never used again.
Right.
I was just thinking, why wasn't that used at any of the other 50 years worth of episodes?
Yes.
Then I thought about it. It's like, wherever they go, the TARDIS, they don't care. No one cares that the TARDIS is there. It's like, okay. It's
Yeah.
like,
Hey,
no
there's
matter.
this wooden box here now.
This
Okay.
big blue police box is like
Yeah.
right there. Okay, that's
In the
fine.
middle of Renaissance England.
They could be looking.
It
Yeah,
pops
it's
up.
like, that's not a big deal.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Ye old call box has popped up, and it's like,
Right.
there it is.
Nobody seems to care.
But no, I like the episode as a showcase for the new Doctor. I think she did a fine job because she
Yes.
seemed to actually incorporate the Doctor that we know.
And in fact, Linda, my wife, mentioned we actually watched it for a second time. And interestingly, when you watch it for a second time, you only get like 3 commercials total.
Well, the premiere was probably
Yeah.
The
one
timing
where-
was bad.
Right. They had to pay for a lot of the advertising they did. But anyway, Linda mentioned afterwards, she said, you know what, I thought, she said, I wasn't really looking forward to the new Doctor because I wasn't sure that Jodie Whittaker was going to be able to pull it off. But she said she did an excellent job. She won me over. And she said she did a great job of, because obviously Jodie Whittaker has just generated into the Doctor, right? And when the Doctor generates, there's a lot of confusion because the mind is also rebooting to a certain degree, right? And they're figuring out who they are and what they like and all that kind of stuff. And Linda said, I thought she did an excellent job of portraying the confusion and sort of the random, seemingly psychotic actions and language of a Doctor going
Yes,
through that reboot.
That's perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
she did that.
yeah.
I think my favorite so far, I haven't seen this one, so I can't speak on it, but I really love the Matt Smith one where
Where he's doing the fish fingers and custard and just,
apples. I love apples.
yeah, I hate him. Yeah, right.
Apples are rubbish.
Apples are rubbish. Right. And so, yeah, so Linda thought she did a great, and I thought she did a great job too. I like the new Doctor.
I do too.
And
I
thought
do
she
too.
did a good job. And I did have kind of one question on that episode. So, for those that saw it, so the heroes, the Doctor and her companions in that episode, along with a couple of, along with another lady who ended up not making it
Through the episode.
through the episode, they had implanted in their collarbones DNA bombs that the alien could detonate, and then what it does is it goes in and it just recodes your DNA to make you dissolve into a pile of goo. It's kind of a horrible way of killing you, but its purpose, they didn't want to, this particular alien did not want to leave any witnesses
Yeah,
behind.
Spoiler alert.
Or
Yeah.
teeth.
Right,
I thought he
spoiler
was
alert.
after teeth.
He's after teeth, right. And so he didn't do that to the, he had a specific human that he had to kill.
Yeah, and it's like
Any other
was up with
humans
that?
that found out about him,
That
he wanted
probably
to
is a flaw.
eliminate.
The love of teeth, the DNA bomb would get in the way of the love of teeth.
Well, he didn't use the DNA bomb on the target.
No, but But I think he took teeth from other people that weren't
He did.
targets.
You see him
He
take
did.
teeth, yeah.
And so his thing is on his planet, his species lives in super sub-zero temperatures. And he's got a spacesuit that maintains his sub-zero climate. And he's so cold that when he touches a human, he drains the heat out of them and they die immediately. And so once they died, if it was a human that he just wanted to, that was in his way and he wanted to kill it, he would kill it and then take that human's teeth.
This guy had a lot going on.
He had a lot going on.
DNA bombs,
DNA bombs.
stealing teeth, super
Yes.
cold.
And
cold.
he
Hunting.
had the
Computer squid.
the computer squid tentacled ball of
Yeah.
Info gathering.
info gathering death that he had.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, yeah.
There's a lot going on with this guy.
A lot going on with this guy. And
Take a thing, run with it, guy.
Right.
Yeah,
We
one.
don't know what you're about.
right. He had a lot of tech and he wasn't supposed to have any tech. That was his
He was a cheater.
he was a cheater.
Cheater.
He was supposed to take no tech with him, hunt the human au natural, basically, with no weaponry or anything. Anything he could build on the planet, like a rudimentary lathe,
Yes.
for example.
Shut up,
You have
guy.
a rudimentary
Get off the line.
Yes. So anything he could make, he could use to hunt his prey. And he also wasn't allowed to use any technology to find his prey. He had to find it on his own, which how you do that on a planet of 6 billion people.
From 5,000 galaxies away.
Let's
Exactly.
talk for a second about the prey. It's not like he's like 5,000 galaxies away and it's like, what is the mightiest hunter of Earth? It's like
Right.
it's like some dude just like
Yes.
it was just Steve or Chuck.
Yes, and the dude is so insecure, he repeats aphorisms to
Yeah,
himself. He
yeah,
listens to an
yeah.
aphorism tape.
I am important.
I am important. I am worthy.
yeah, he-
Someone out there wants me.
So,
So-
mildly neurotic crane operator.
Yes!
It's just a dude. He's got a pot belly.
And
He's just this guy. He's
He
just-
operates these high cranes, and he's afraid of heights.
Yes.
He only does it because it's his dad's company,
So this
So, yeah.
galaxy,
and he needed a job.
this planet 5,000 galaxies away, apparently has Twitter or Facebook or something, and he just posted something.
Yes.
And they were like,
That's
screw this
the
guy
guy.
in
That's the
particular.
guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get him.
Right.
There's the prey. He has to go down. It's
Yeah.
like obviously he represents Earth for something, but it's why that guy? Why?
Right.
Of all the people, of all the tokens, if you're looking for take someone's teeth, take the president of the United States' teeth,
Right.
or take the PM,
Even aliens
the
from
Prime
5,000 galaxies
the
away
Prime
have
Minister
good
of,
taste.
of England. If we're going to be in England, which
Yeah.
we seem to be all the time anyway in Doctor
Right.
Who, take the Prime Minister's teeth. Take somebody's teeth who's like is
Has value.
yeah, at least.
That leaves out the royal family.
So is there
At least
is there
good dental practices.
is there yeah? I mean, really, who wants British teeth?
Well, I was going to say find the finest teeth on Earth.
Oh, and that's not British teeth. That's not. They're kind of famous for that. You know.
I'm sorry to anyone from Britain who's watching this for
Yes.
I think
For
they
John's
John.
remarks.
they would agree with
They
us.
are
love-
fully aware.
we
of
do
their
I
love-
own
think they are
dental
aware.
issues.
Yeah,
We love the
Yeah.
British people.
we
Yeah.
do.
Especially their accents.
Yes,
Yeah.
but your teeth are messed up, and you should. If you don't know that, well,
Some.
to
Spoiler
the
alert.
British people
Yeah.
watching.
No.
I think your teeth are fine. I don't know these guys.
Right. And in fairness, there
that's
are many.
the line that you're not going to cross that line.
Yeah.
We go through the teledildonics. We talk about the finger.
We haven't talked about the finger
Yeah,
yet.
We just made mention
that's
to
why
it.
we're gonna and that right behind. All right, we're gonna do something on
I'm just not going to insult an entire country here.
No.
Batman's
Because,
penis is
especially
okay,
when you
but-
consider there are many Americans with bad teeth.
I know. This is a glass house that
But
I just don't want to
the
throw
British
stones
are
in.
famous for their bad teeth, and you know that. It's like because you all laugh because you know what I'm talking about. It's like it's one of those memes.
I think, yeah, just because it was accentuated so much in Austin Powers.
Yes, and that was the very stereotype that we're talking about. So, you know,
So,
hey,
yeah.
don't come down on me, British people. It's like just get mad at other people.
Get mad at Austin Powers.
Yeah, it's not like I made fun of your food, which I probably will at some point. But it's like not today. You know, today's a new day, and it's
Right.
like, but why? What was the prey's name again?
The species?
No, the guy.
I don't know.
I can't remember
He's
his
like
name.
Gary.
Kevin.
Yeah,
or-
Kevin. Yeah. Says we must cross 5,000 galaxies to get Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin must die.
And his success at killing Kevin and getting his teeth in his face would make him king of that species.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to tell you that.
Well,
yeah.
no wonder he's willing to cheat.
Yes.
He wants to
that's
cheat
right.
to get Kevin.
And apparently, the previous king took that one guy's girlfriend.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Kevin's
There was-
girlfriend?
there was-
No, no, no.
Somebody
Oh.
else's girlfriend.
No, Slim Shady's girlfriend.
There's another guy
Yeah.
who found this
Well, he doesn't make it either.
frozen. I don't know. It's
pod?
like a frozen Hershey's Kiss.
Yeah, it did. It
looked
looked
like-
kind of like
yeah.
a Hershey's,
Hershey's
Kiss.
Kiss.
Yeah, Christmas version.
It's like about the size of this table, only it's round and in the shape of a Hershey's Kiss.
Yeah.
And it's kind of blue, purplish, and it's super
Cold.
sub-zero. So if you touch it, you can get freezer burns.
Yeah.
And that's where Tim Shaw, he cracks out of that. He comes out of that
well, no,
thing.
it was the
But Tim Shaw comes
that
out of that. But
Okay.
but the guy that finds it, he finds it because he threw his bicycle over a cliff. And in searching for his bicycle, he finds the frozen Hershey's Kiss. And anyway, he ends up
Dying.
no.
No.
He's one of the companions, future companions.
Yeah, she has a number of them, doesn't
Yeah.
she?
So he ends up going off on some other mission. Well, while he's gone, this other rando comes by with a van, steals the Hershey's Kiss, takes it back to this seemingly abandoned warehouse, puts it in the middle and sets up a bunch of GoPros around to monitor it because he's waiting for whatever's in it to come out so he can find out what happened to his girlfriend who disappeared months or years ago and apparently was the victim of a previous hunt, which is how the current king got to be king.
So they just come and pick on random
British
meaningless
person.
people. It's
Right.
Like, yeah. So we
Because I
got.
can't
with
imagine in
affirmations.
Doctor Who that they go after anyone not British.
Well,
No.
not important. It's like just what was her name? The
Hey.
girlfriend's name? It's like Phyllis something. It's like just that's that we must kill Phyllis to
Alice.
become king. Alice.
Alice and Betty.
You just can't get over that. You just can't. It hurts. No, that's it for you then.
You spent.
There we
You
go.
made
That's
it
You got
10
me.
minutes.
Yeah.
You made it 10 minutes
Without grabbing
without
your gun.
grabbing that
Oh.
and
John
using
has
it.
a new
I made
toy
it more. It's like it's longer than that because it's like yeah. So
for his steampunk character whose name is,
Dorian Kettletoft,
right, and what is he known for?
His gun now.
The chimney
the
sweep.
chimney sweep. Yeah.
And explain that, how that works.
Where you lower the anchor of your dirigible and just start knocking chimneys over.
as
by
you
swinging
sail
it.
across the city. He did it, I think, by accident the first time because he was
Yeah.
drunk.
But yeah, that's
But
how,
now it's become his signature flyover.
isn't that how we all find the things we love by accident? I think so.
I think
It's
you
like
might be
you
right.
try things. If you like it, you keep doing it. That's
Right.
just how this goes.
Right.
It's like, I guess the equivalent of Victorian millions of dollars in damage, but it's like, yeah, all right.
Can I steal that for my steampunk story?
Please feel free.
Yes. You can use the exploits of Dorian
Yeah,
Kettletoft.
Dorian Kettletoft and his dirigible, the Lucky Bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, but I did like the show. I think
Yeah.
she's going to be a great doctor because she falls right in line. A lot of companions.
Yes.
And,
There are going to be 3
Maybe
companions.
3.
And
Take.
the show ended in a slightly ominous note.
Well, they were in space and they
Yes.
should be dead. But they're-
So, in the search for the TARDIS, the Doctor used some of the tech that Tim Shaw brought with him in order to create a portal jump. And she found some way using her sonic to lock on to the last coordinates of the TARDIS because it dematerialized as it was falling to Earth, and she fell out, it dematerialized, and she didn't know where it went. So she tracked it with her sonic, used this tech from Tim Shaw to create this portal jump, and had her 3 soon to be future companions, because at this point, as far as they know, she's just going to teleport out to her TARDIS and they'll never see her again, because they're all saying goodbye. And one guy's got to hold the battery that runs the teleporter, and the other guy's got to feed in the coordinates, and this person's got to flip a switch, and so they're all in close proximity. She does the countdown, hits the sonic, and there's just this big whoop, like, you know, a suction, like a vacuum, and they all kind of disappear into a point, and then they all reappear, and when you see them, they're all reappear, and they're all floating in outer space. Like
It wasn't
this.
her intention to take her 3 companions with her.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
She was saying goodbye to them. She was going to leave them, and then all of a sudden, here all 4 of them are floating in space, seemingly. I'm sure tonight's episode will reveal what actually happened, because obviously we all know if they're floating in space, they're going to be dead like that.
Well, I mean,
You've got
the
a
first
few
or
seconds of pain.
30 seconds tops, but your body truly takes
Well, your
a hit,
blood's
but-
boiling
But
because you're.
if you remember the first 11th Doctor episode, he takes Amy Pond into space,
Yes.
and she's in like a nightgown, and she's just floating in space, holding on to the Doctor, and I just assumed somehow holding on to
But weren't they-
Gallifreyan is okay as long as you're
No, but
around
they
the
were-
Gallifreyan.
But they were in the. They were next to or just
They're-
outside the TARDIS.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
the TARDIS.
because the
like,
TARDIS
has
creates a
field.
shell.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes.
They've talked it.
Okay.
They've
All
talked
right.
about
I mean, whenever you open the door, it doesn't decompress.
it. Right.
Well, how big around is the shield?
Yeah.
Long enough to
As long-
accommodate.
Because the
Well,
TARDIS,
it's a bubble.
the TARDIS could have been right off camera.
Well, so they could be safe
So-
because they're in the tail of the TARDIS.
It's as big as
Yeah.
it needs it to
Maybe.
be for the episode.
But it
Yeah,
but it
it's-
did
well, yeah.
did a pretty wide view. I mean, you could see they're in
Well, they're
this
in time. It doesn't
nebula
necessarily
like
space.
ish
Seth
area.
just
But-
made me feel bad for trying to quantify something in Doctor Who.
I-
And he's right. He's absolutely right.
But-
there's no point in that.
we
It's
now
like-
we already said we know that the TARDIS has a
Invisibility. It could be. It could have been invisible in space.
The TARDIS could be here right now, and we'd never know.
Right.
yeah. We never go over there. Maybe we
Good
should look.
point.
See,
could
and I'm
be
pointing off camera deliberately because the
sitting on the
studio
table.
audience,
Right.
or well, the studio audience can see it, but it's like
Right.
the audience can't
Our-
see over there. And it's
our-
like,
Television audience.
yes, television. Yeah,
We're on our way up.
I mean, television works for anything because we're transmitting our image far and wide, so people can see it. So it's television.
yeah. Well, it is, but it's like. One thing I'd like to say about Doctor Who is the amazing things they do with virtually no special effects budget.
Yeah.
It's like they make you think. It's like, I mean, look at the Weeping Angels.
Yes.
That's concrete. That is simply, that's like garden. Like someone went to like the home store and bought a bunch of these angels that you put in your garden, and
Right.
there you go.
Right. You
it's
got your alien.
So that the entire special effects budget for that, what, a couple $100 worth of concrete,
Right.
and there it is.
And it's one of the scarier episodes.
It
Right.
is, and then some simple prosthetics
It's
for
probably
like,
not even concrete. It's probably wood and plaster, and then painted to look like concrete, so it's easy to move around.
I think
the
it'd be.
Sun
I think
studio.
it'd be. Well, I think it'd be cheaper to make it out of concrete, and they have dollies.
Yeah, but you got to make it portable.
It is portable. I mean,
Charles looks confused.
For
well,
someone
no,
who
I'm
doesn't
just
want
not
to
sure.
do-
I'm just not sure that it's that they don't have the budget or they're just not willing to spend it.
well,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily that they're being cheap. It's that they're actually. It's like the original
No,
series
that's-
Star Trek.
It's meant to be that look.
It is, but it works.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah.
Daleks have plungers on their hands. It's like and all right, they got a plunger and a whisk. Is really that is, and these are the most fearsome.
A whisk that can disintegrate you.
Yeah, but it can scramble eggs.
And the
Real
plunger,
good.
the plunger can suck right onto your face.
Yeah, but I don't want
Or a
that plunger
computer
on
console.
my face. Did anyone ever like in the 50
does this
years of
anyway?
Doctor Who, like the toilet got backed up and they just like, let's take the toilet. I'm gonna just like and then put it back on.
And then everyone is super motivated not to let that Dalek get them.
Yes.
In the face.
Yes. Yes. But I mean, in 50 years, I can see an emergency happening. It's like,
Yeah.
these things happen.
Yeah.
It's like somebody went through a hardware store wondering, how can we make someone afraid of this?
Indeed, it is. Hey, what do we got? We got a whisk, we've got a plunger, and a bag of concrete. That's all we got. It's like that's
all we need.
That's all we need. But it's like, remember how William Shatner's famous for overacting? But it's because they didn't have the special effects budgets in those days. It's like the way you saw the alien spaceship was the person's reaction to it. They didn't have the CGI. But BBC, through Doctor Who, is doing the same thing. They're building villains, but you're the one that has to make them terrifying. And they figured out a way to make you make the Weeping Angels terrifying.
Now, I thought they did a good job with Tim Shaw.
He was okay. He was. I kind of thought he was a metal man for a minute, some kind of different.
No,
metal
I
man.
just had the realization that he is portraying the dentist.
What?
And we all know that doctors don't consider dentists.
Well, no, I
real
just
doctors.
thought the doctor, the master, and now he's talking about a third Gallifreyan, the dentist. It's like that's what I heard in my head.
No, but so Tim Shaw, so they're naturally at odds, dentists and doctors, is what you're saying.
Yeah, in popular culture, I would think,
What? I am not aware of this rivalry between dentists and doctors.
Yeah, I was not either. I did not know.
Well,
But,
he's saying that doctors don't consider dentists to be real doctors.
I don't know that.
Well, let's throw a chiropractor in there too for fun.
The backcracker, the next villain. So
Yeah.
You mean the next Gallifreyan, the chiropractor?
Yes.
The bone doctor. Yeah.
yes,
I wonder if there's a
Crackshaw.
Gallifreyan Time Lord called the Slave. So we have the Master.
Well,
Could
yeah,
there be-
why not? Why not? There could be a Gallifreyan lunch lady for all we know. It's like,
The lunch lady.
yeah, here she comes. It's tremble in
Worst Gallifreyan to be.
fear. The lunch lady.
Well, I'm sure there's other worse ones, but
Yeah.
you could come up with any number of the worst.
The worst. Yeah, I mean, it's like, just think of occupations.
Now, that said,
That said.
when a Time Lord is running into the fray to battle, would you be more likely to take instruction from someone called the Doctor or someone called the Lunch Lady? Because the Lunch Lady says, oh, this is a, Telemorphagomagorian creature, and we need to do this, this, and this. I'm going to say, yeah, just charge my lunch.
Well, she knows because she's cooked over 5,000 of them.
And she deals with hungry, insane children all the time.
I just
So
don't
it's
think
like, yeah.
the Lunch Lady has the authority that comes with a title like the Doctor. Not that she couldn't be authoritative and
Well, it all
in
depends
charge.
how you present the lunch lady. The lunch lady arrived, and the stars bled. It all depends on how you say it. It is. It's like, the doctor arrived with marshmallow treats. Which one are you going to follow into battle? I want the lunch lady. I'm behind the lunch lady.
I guess it depends upon how
Yeah.
she's
Well,
written.
you're not.
I mean-
you're not really saying. Cause
Well-
it should be Master Chef. I might follow Master Chef.
Yeah,
The
right.
Or the
The
connoisseur.
Doctor, I mean, the only reason we think that name has gravitas is because it's got 50 some years of history and story behind it.
Yeah.
And because
but
when
doctors-
Daleks hear it, they're like, the Doctor.
Yes.
But, if it's the lunch lady, and they were like, the lunch lady, run away, run away.
That would just be so ridiculous. I don't think I could watch it. Because
Oh, come on, it's
not
Doctor
only
Who.
listen,
You've
that's
seen
the line.
weirder
not
things.
That's the
only
line.
it's not only the 50 years of Doctor Who that give us the authority of the Doctor. It's also our own cultures where doctors are professionals that have, respected credentials, and you trust them for, giving you advice, medical advice. You trust them to operate on you. I mean, I'm not going to have a lunch lady patch my heart if I have a heart valve problem.
So you want
She's
like,
probably
they
the one that
deal
gave
with
you the heart problem.
They deal with hundreds of children every day, and manage not to kill all of them.
Yeah,
Children
that
are
is
very
patience.
resilient.
Well, all right. What do you want? You want to change the title to food science technician? Would that be better? Would that help you?
Scientist. Ooh, the scientist.
all right.
Now that would be a Time Lord I would
I'll
follow.
bet there's one of those.
The scientist.
There's
Yes,
the Corsair.
you know-
That's a really good name.
it would be. I don't think you can have a scientist in Doctor Who because then you'd have to have science. I don't think that works very well in terms of Doctor Who.
It could work.
They're-
You could make it
They're
work.
floating in space right
I
now.
mean,
They
look.
should be dead.
They had science in Star Trek,
Yes.
right?
No, then they did it very well.
But they did it very well. But still, trialic waves. What the hell?
Well, they made up stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
As does Doctor Who.
Duotronic computers.
Reverse the dilithium flow quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Isolinear chips need to be, re-scrambled.
Yeah.
And I know, I dig, but
Yeah.
they're making things up. Less so than, say, Lost in Space. The old Lost in Space.
the old one.
The
Yeah,
new
yeah,
one.
yeah.
The new one is actually pretty good. It's still
Right.
2 years away.
Yeah.
But, see, I'm never stopping the bitterness
Hey,
on that one. But
hey, hold on. Speaking
the
of
bitterness on what
Speaking
now?
of that,
Lost in Space, the reboot.
speaking
Yeah.
of Lost
Have
in
you seen it?
Space,
Yeah. See it the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Mad Doctors.
Second season is still 2 years out.
maybe a year and a half.
Well, it's got a pretty high production value, so it's
Yeah,
going
it
to take them a
does.
while to do the
It
special
does,
effects
it
and
does.
really craft that robot's butt.
Yeah,
right?
Why did the internet fall in love with that robot's butt? It's
Why
like-
wouldn't
Why does
you?
the internet do anything?
Did you see it?
Yes, I did.
Audie clearly did.
No. It's truly, I admire the robot's delicious ass. I do. I will say.
Let it go on record that
the man who ordered the teledildonics
I didn't.
also
I did
likes
not.
the
I
robot's
did
butt.
no, didn't just he said delicious.
Delicious. Yes, it is. It is very nice. I would like my own buttocks to emulate them. I would, as would we all.
Huh, I hadn't noticed, actually.
You hadn't?
But
Audie did.
I wouldn't have noticed that thing on the Batman cover either. So
Well, he has a cape.
You have to actually open the. I don't think you could have it on the cover.
or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
So I think kids like the comic.
What are you
books.
talking about? The
Batawang.
Yeah.
No.
for our audience that may not be familiar with the Batawang, do you want to give us a little detail? on
Well,
that?
are we done with this?
Well, but he's
We're not done with this. I did want to, since we were on Lost in Space, the new Lost in Space for a minute, I just wanted to mention that there's two new characters were revealed for the new series. So they are moving ahead with it. The first character being cast goes by the name of Ava, and she is a no-nonsense member of the Resolute crew. So it looks like we'll be seeing more of the Resolute, which is the big ship.
It's the Resolute's lunch lady.
The Resolute's lunch lady.
So many of the
No.
Resolute's crew has been just
Decimated.
wacky off the wall. I mean,
Yeah, is there any
I'm glad we're
screening
getting a
programs
no
for-
nonsense
Well,
member of
I-
the crew.
No, the only one that, who on the crew, who else was wacky?
The Robinson family.
Wacky, really?
No, I don't think
This
they're
is-
wacky. I think they're pretty down to earth. The doctor, Smith, is a psycho, right? But she's not really a member of the crew. She's not a colonist. She's not a member of the crew.
Well, she's on the ship now, so
Not,
Yeah.
not the real Dr. Smith.
She's not the
So-
real Dr. Smith,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Who
So
is a
she's
member of the crew.
She's a poser.
No, wait, he's a colonist too.
no, she's Posey.
Posey, right? Yeah, and you accuse me about bad puns.
Yeah, I do. I'll let him have one. It's like, you can have a pun, sir. You can take two. They're small, but no,
Hey,
Bill,
I
no
think
more
that was-
puns for you.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty good.
That was
It was
good.
good.
So anyway, this Ava is somewhere.
We need a drum roll sound. Just
Yes,
for puns.
just to do that. I can add that in post. She's somewhere between her late 20s and 40 years old, and she's the supervisor of the mechanics. She's firm, hardworking, and serious.
The lunch mechanics.
And apparently she's going to have some interaction with Don.
Well, she'd be
That-
his
all
boss, right? She'd be his boss, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
But right there, that's a spoiler that they get back to the Resolute.
Right.
So, all right, because
Well, could be
they're
flashbacks.
at the moment they are lost in space.
Right.
Uh,
Well, we don't know that they get back.
well,
All we know is that we're going to introduce to a new character
Well,
that's on the Resolute.
how-
So we'll see more of the Resolute.
It would be a bit accurate at best if it's flashbacks. You can't have like extended flashback scenes.
You
Well,
did in
I-
the first one. I mean,
Yeah.
the first season they had some extended flashbacks.
Well,
but-
that was setting up the premise.
Well-
they were required for the premise. This would be not so much.
maybe. Depends on how they build their characters.
And then the second character is Commander Jang. She's captain of the Resolute. Hope I'm saying that right. Jiang, Jang. She's captain of the Resolute. Even though Victor, who we'll remember, is the leader of the colony, her command of the ship and crew is quite apparent. So I wonder if there'll be a little friction between Victor and
So-
Jang.
She's in
Going
charge
forward.
of the Resolute,
She's in charge of the Resolute. He's in charge of the colonists.
including the cafeteria.
I think so.
So she's a lunch lady. I can
She-
tie this in all day.
She's no lunch lady. She's described as capable, stalwart, unsentimental, and definitely no chef.
Everything you want in a lunch lady.
I
So,
added the no
again,
chef.
Everything.
no
Even the no
nonsense.
chef part.
No nonsense.
There is no part of that show that is nonsense.
Nonsensical.
Yeah.
No, not.
Nobody has any fun in this version of Lost in Space.
Should
Hey.
they? I mean, it should actually be a miserable time if you're lost in space. But
Yes.
Well, I mean, you've got to find ways to amuse yourself.
well,
Some of those shipboard antics, you could put those on.
Well,
well-
now, Will Robinson amused himself playing catch with the robot. They had fun.
And a good time was had by all, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not ragging on the series. I really did like it.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. After the robot was destroyed, the Resolute. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's give and take on that one.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're lost in space on what I can only assume is a broken spaceship, I think they left it a little busted up, didn't they?
Well, I think it got lost because it was the exact opposite of broken, because the alien technology spoiler alert fused into the engines and sent them off.
Yeah, opened up a portal and
So
wormhole and sent them
it's
off somewhere.
Less that it's broken and more that it's upgraded in unexpected ways.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's, but I'm going to assume they get back to the Resolute because they're setting up new characters for this.
It would
Unless-
make sense.
Yeah. But it's, all right. So what about the end? It's like, it's awfully, I'm still
The end of
weird. The end of the first
Lost in
season
Space?
where Don and Mr. Robinson get shot into space.
and they're floating on debris and
And
orbit.
what looks like basically half of an unfinished basement. they're just up there floating around, and it was a huge explosion.
Right? They had their
somehow-
spacesuits.
Yeah, but somehow they achieved escape velocity in half of an unfinished basement without being squashed to death.
They have the most valuable thing in all of sci-fi: plot armor.
Yes.
That is, that should be something you can get in D&D. There should be a quest for that plot armor, and then you're invulnerable. That would be cool. It's like-
That's game breaking, and I don't think any of my players can yet cast that sort of enchantment. So
or they just haven't thought of it yet. I mean, like you brought up the Cyclops in Krull should have been the first guy in every battle because he knows he's not going to die. It's
Yeah.
like that's invulnerability.
I think last week I proved to my players that they aren't invulnerable.
The hard way.
Did you flex your godlike powers and squash their will to live?
Not really, but they definitely learned that they are not going to get through every encounter unscathed.
Nice.
They've had a few where it's been really easy on them, and now they're going to have to think about things a bit more carefully.
Well, and that's as it should be. That's what makes some of the shows we like the most interesting is because, like, for example, Game of Thrones, any character could die.
Yeah, it's like I'm still sad that
Ned Stark.
died.
got beheaded.
I liked him.
Yeah.
I did. I wanted to see more of him, but I like that I lost something I wanted. And it's like, because it means that there's no limits. It's like the show is literally, no one's safe. And it's
And
like,
and when you watch a show like that, and a character that is nefarious or evil or mean, cruel, whatever, and they die, you feel vindicated. Yes, this person had it coming. But he was not like that. He was probably the one upstanding, no nonsense, moralistic,
part.
follow the rules kind of guy, and he got killed. And that, to me, mimics real life.
yeah.
Because in real life, it doesn't matter if you're good or bad.
But it was a karmic death because he did right at the start cut off the head of.
The guy who escaped from the
That's
wall,
right,
but he
yeah.
was enforcing the law.
Yeah, I don't really think that's karma coming
yeah.
back
No.
to him.
That was enforcing the law.
He
Sort of.
If you
Or irony.
that's the world he lives in.
It might
though.
be irony.
I
but
mean,
yeah, if he had not
if
cut
anything,
the head
it's
off, it's, like,
it's less karmic. It's more poetic.
maybe, yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah. It's like he had to cut the head off of that person.
Right.
Otherwise, the rumor would have spread that he's not enforcing the law, and they
then
would have had to
replace
arrest
him.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Right.
he literally
Nonetheless.
is in a position he had no choice.
right.
I mean, if you want to look at
You
it in
desert
that
the
light,
Night's Watch, you get beheaded.
and he like submitted himself to the king's justice in that.
That's right.
So as he did the execution in the first episode, he accepted the punishment in the last episode
So,
without
yeah.
Yeah.
staging
Yeah.
a heroic rescue, a heroic last minute rescue, defying him and beginning the rebellion on his own.
Right.
Like he stayed true to his character.
So yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, Charles. Yeah.
Karma, right there.
Right there. Karma.
I thought he was a little too serious, so I don't miss him at all.
I like it. I did.
Well,
Someone
so
had to be serious.
Yeah, someone you do need a
That
straight
brings-
Yeah,
man.
Game of Thrones, famous
Now-
for its
Yeah.
comedy.
that brings up a
Those hilarious
question
one-liners.
at this point. So so I'm introducing Charles and Audie to Game of Thrones, and we finished season 1, and we're 5 episodes I think into season 2, and so I'd like to ask you two at this point.
Well, I'm in the same place. I caught up to that.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right, because
so-
you haven't seen it either.
I
And
did, yeah.
you've seen him.
I've still only seen the first episode of the first season.
Oh,
but
geez, okay.
I have read the first book
Oh, okay.
and basically know the plot of everything that happens.
Gotcha. All right, so let me ask you three then. Who is your favorite character at this point in the show?
Oh, there's
Oh,
only two favorite characters. I'm going to give you the two.
Okay.
The little person,
Yep.
So
Tyrion,
Tyrion.
which I think
Yeah.
is common to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the daughter, the
Daenerys.
girl with the fight.
The
with
what?
the fight in her.
The-
with the,
Oh,
with the sticker.
Arya. Arya with
Yeah.
Sting.
The one that's being called.
Those are
Boy.
the only
Yeah.
two. I mean, the mother of dragons,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm take her or leave her.
What about Jon Snow at the Wall?
I like him. They haven't developed his character enough yet for me to actually fall in love. I like the dragon lady,
Yeah.
but she has been under
Callista?
obviously she was sexual fodder
Yeah.
for the early part of the show, but I think she's starting to develop into a true character, and I
Mm-hmm.
like that. But no, I agree with you totally. I like Arya, and I like Tyrion. He's sneaky. He's devious. You don't know where he stands. You don't know if he likes the Starks.
Right.
You don't know if he likes his own family. I don't think he
Right.
does. I really don't.
Would you?
Not
Yeah.
really.
If you were him?
no.
I
but-
mean, they virtually, his father hates him.
Yeah.
His sister hates him. Now his brother likes him. Jamie Lannister
Yeah.
likes him. But Jamie
But-
Lannister's kind of in a bit of a
a bit
predicament
of a
right
pickle,
now.
yes.
Yeah,
but
he's-
it's like he's.
captured.
You don't know what he's going to do. You don't know where his loyalties lie,
Right.
and he's every situation he's confronted with, he handles truly brilliantly.
right.
It's like he's got all the people doing
Right.
all the things.
Right.
He's pulling all the strings, and they have no idea. And
And I think we're going to see that recurring theme in that he had mentioned in one of the early episodes that his brother Jaime Lannister is a great knight and a swordsman and all this kind of stuff. And he says, look at me. He says, I don't have any of that. What do I have? I have my mind. I read books. And we're going to see the same thing with Samwell Tarly, who is at the Wall. He is,
read a lot of books.
a coward, but he's read a lot of books. And so I think you're going to see the knowledge aspect,
the value of
the
Samwell.
value of of
value,
these people that
yes.
maybe not be great fighters in combat, but they're intellectual fighters, and I think the intellectual power is going to come to play.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think he's a very valid character.
Yeah. So, I'd say Tyrion's definitely where I'm at. I've seen all of the show so far, up to where we're at now. And Tyrion was my favorite character. I would say Daenerys Targaryen is also, and Jon Snow. So I would say those are my top three characters. Although I've come to like, what's his name? The guy that's the aide to Daenerys Targaryen.
I like him too.
Sir
He-
Jorah, I think.
Something
No.
like that.
Is it
Something
Jorah?
like- it's-
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
he's got a great deal of integrity for a slaver.
right.
For a guy who sells people into
Right.
slavery, he
Right.
seems to be a very upstanding guy.
Yeah, and I think he had a justification for that as to why that happened.
That
That made sense.
Everybody does.
I'm
right?
sure that everyone has this
Right.
So it's all got to do with honor.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It's like I don't want to sell people into slavery, but I have a car payment.
Right.
So there's always
Yeah.
always a reason.
And I don't think I'm trying to remember the story that he had for that, and I think it was more or less, as I recall it, and I'm probably wrong here, but it seemed to me that it was a case of mistaken identity where he didn't know that he was dealing with slavers or something, and I'll have to look that up.
And embraced it? And just like,
No,
well,
I don't think he embraced it. I think he found out when it was found out, and because he was in business with them, he had to take the king's justice.
He said
and
he was
got
a
banished.
Nigerian prince. What am I supposed to do? I don't know.
Right.
he said he was a Dothraki prince.
Rocky Prince.
Right. Now, coming up, I think towards the end of this month, right before Halloween, is the premiere of Stranger Things.
Oh, sweet.
Ooh. Nice.
So
I need to
I'm
finish
looking
watching
forward
the
to that.
second season of that.
Yeah. Now, what I read recently about this was that a year or more will have passed between the last episode and where we are now. And the reason for that was because of the fact that the kids have grown
bit.
substantially
Yeah.
since the last episode. So they had to allow for a certain amount of time in between episodes, or
They're-
it just wouldn't have looked
They're still
right.
not going to join the 90s, though, are they?
I don't think so. I think it's
Because
still going
that
to be
would-
in the 80s.
that would be weird.
So it's just a year or two.
The grunge phase.
Yeah, I mean, the
Stranger Things.
90s were significantly weirder than the 80s.
Well, I don't know about weirder, but I'm just, you know.
They were both weird.
He's
the 80s was in a
nostalgic for the
carefree
80s.
way.
Well, I've just got,
The
yeah.
90s was in a
Well, the
slightly dirty way. I
some
think.
sort of scruffy monster comes out. You're not even going to recognize it in the 90s.
It's like,
It's like what everybody looked like.
yeah.
It
What's
could be.
that?
It could be some hairy beast that takes off his fur and he's hairier underneath.
Or it could just be Michael Jackson.
It's a reference to Barbarella, which is the 50th anniversary of Barbarella, and
That's
so we're
so 70s, man. You just
we're
Yes.
we're going to have a watching party for Barbarella so that we can discuss it on a
discuss
future
it.
episode.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, yeah.
Yeah, it should be fun. Bring your teledildonics.
No, don't. Don't.
Don't need to.
I'm not going to be part of this party if that happens.
That makes two of us, Seth.
I heard you off camera. It's like, I know. It's like,
That's that's how the eye finger came up.
that's enough of you.
Yeah, right. So, so Stranger Things. I'm looking forward to that. So we've got Doctor Who's back up, Stranger Things coming back online. So it's
The Orville should be back pretty soon.
the Orville should be back.
I just started watching that last night.
Do you like it? It's good. Isn't it?
Yeah, the
love
first
it.
episode and the part of the second episode that I watched are really fun so far. I like it, and the
It'll
special
stay
effects
like
are
that.
great.
They
Yeah.
are. It's like a comedy, but it has they always deal with a social issue, just like the original Star Trek. And it's good.
And they do have moments where it's not funny at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just kind
Yeah,
of
they do.
dull.
You said that like you were very angry. It's like they do have moments where they're not funny at all.
I
So
was.
I
I
felt a little tension.
remember a little tension. Yeah, just going. I didn't laugh.
but I have liked the dialogue and what I've seen so far, and I'm behind this. I want to watch it.
I'm happy because a little Seth MacFarlane goes a long way, usually too far,
Yeah.
and it's like most of the things he does. It's like I get disenchanted, but this I'm not. I think that's a good balance between everybody. So I love this show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
When the Quentin Tarantino Star Trek happens, is there gonna be a movie or a
Movie.
series? That's too bad.
And you're not going to laugh during some of that too. I can tell you. that
Or
right
it
now.
might.
Yeah.
Or
No,
maybe
I
not
just
during
think
any
it would
of
be
it.
fun to watch the Orville episode and then like a Quentin Tarantino episode back
Yeah.
and forth and see if
Now, here's a,
I just shot Spock in the face. Yeah, it's going to be great. I love it. Yeah, it's going to be dark. I want it dark. I want to see some dark Trek.
okay,
Really dark Trek.
here's something for you. What if the Jean-Luc Picard's Enterprise encountered the Orville in space, and they had conflicting goals, and they were actually at war with one another? Who would prevail?
The Enterprise.
Well, he doesn't have the Enterprise.
yeah, he's got a lesser ship, doesn't he?
Ah.
Yeah.
But, well, we don't know
Kind of a
lesser.
throwaway. It's a
like-
throwaway. They weren't going to give a good ship to him.
Well,
Right.
but, all right. So, still,
Still,
does the Orville have shields? I don't
Yeah,
even know.
they have deflectors,
They do?
and it's
they have a
considerably
tractor
more
beam?
maneuverable than the Enterprise
Yes.
is.
Yes, it is.
Seems to
It
be,
does.
yeah.
They don't have phasers, but they seem to have torpedoes of some kind.
No, they've got some sort of lasers, but I didn't see any torpedoes in the first episode.
Well, they just have these little balls they shoot out.
Huh.
It's like, the analogy to me was torpedoes. It could be
Mines.
phaser balls. I don't know.
Phaser balls.
Phaser balls. It's like we're shooting phaser balls.
Well, I will say
Target the phaser balls.
I will say that I would predict. Well, I guess both ships kind of have this weakness in that their bridge is just like right on top of the saucer section, and so
Yeah.
once the deflectors are gone, it's just like shoot that spot right in the middle and
So
no more
you'd-
bridge crew.
So you'd put your bridge in the center.
Yes, that is where you're supposed to put a bridge of a
Yeah, I mean,
starship.
you don't need.
It's
They
like-
don't. If they
It's
don't
where you
have
want
a,
your command center, highly armored in the
Is
center.
that a window they have like,
On
for
the-
for the Orville?
window.
Yeah,
Looking
on
at-
the top of the Orville, it's got like a sunroof.
Yeah, it's like that's not a good idea.
Well, that's their daily operations bridge. They have the battle bridge.
Well, no,
Is
but
it very more secure?
Well, the
But
Enterprise
they never
does.
go to it.
They did in the first episode of The Next Generation.
yeah,
But
well,
they did. I think there's maybe a couple episodes of the Next Generation where they even mention the battle bridge. I mean,
Well, that's where they.
every other time they're just like, that's where they go when
Well,
there's a fight.
They
It's
did
a
it
normal bridge.
in the original series. Every time they went to auxiliary control, that's what they called the secondary bridge. It's
Mm-hmm.
like- in fact, Kirk spent all his time in auxiliary control in the Constellation when during the Doomsday Machine episode,
Right.
which you can run the ship from there, all by yourself apparently. I'm not sure
Yeah.
why the rest of the crew is necessary because he handled that just fine all by
Right.
himself. But
And I will say that like on a show like the Orville or Star Trek, it looks much better to have your bridge just like this
Up there.
Obviously, your starship design in Star Trek and in the Orville is much more visually appealing, whereas in in some of a lot of the sci-fi I read, the ships are much less pretty. They're more.
Where was
They're
the
more
bridge
functional.
on the Battlestar Galactica? Was it in the
It
front?
was on a.
I think
on
it's
the top?
probably
Top.
right in the
Yeah.
front. And
Yeah.
they had a window.
The place that's most likely
So-
to be hit in any sort
Right.
of
Yeah.
confrontation.
Right where the Cylon would fly the ship in when they're doing their suicide runs, is
Right.
where they had the bridge.
Right.
But they never did because
But now, look at warships. They have the bridge right on the front of the warship.
They also have a battle bridge.
Well, they have a
No, they have a real battle bridge. It's very highly armored.
on the
Yeah,
ships.
Battlestar
I've been in
Galactica?
one.
You've been?
You've been on the
Yes.
Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah.
I've been
there's-
on the USS Missouri.
Oh, same
That's
thing.
not a Battlestar.
Same thing.
It's a
yeah.
battleship.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
Bill was saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about
Yeah,
Navy ships
all
that
right.
had. So
That thing
and I
is
know
like
aircraft.
6
Missed that
feet
one.
of
Yeah.
armor.
Kind of segued into
I know
Yeah.
aircraft carriers have that CNC command and control
Well, yeah,
in the
well,
center of the ship.
Yeah.
where
If you
it's-
want to talk about real ships,
I didn't know about
then
other ships.
I don't have anything to add to this.
Yeah, I
conversation.
mean, I think there's kind of a big difference between like a ship on the sea and then like a spaceship where
Well, yeah.
you know you can target any point of a specific
Well,
True.
spaceship.
I was just saying that, you know, you have warships that have bridges that are not.
Mm-hmm.
But to Audie's point, you also have a more
battle.
secured, armored
Yeah.
center core
A
where
little
you can conduct.
tiny little porthole.
Yeah.
That you
yeah,
view
but
from.
all these ships having a top,
yeah.
like there's an up.
It's all yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no gravity in space. So
Well,
up
there is
doesn't
if you
matter.
have artificial gravity.
Well, that depends, but that depends on what.
or you
direction
don't
you
have the
put it in.
special effects
Yeah.
for zero G over your entire ship during the
Right.
course of a movie or an episode.
Right.
But if you really think about it, the Battlestar Galactica, the '70s Battlestar Galactica, couldn't have a battle bridge because they used that space for all their hair care products. Because they if you check out the old series, they're just all just
yes.
and it all
Coiffed,
stuck too. They
very well
There was a
coiffed.
lot of product in
Yeah.
Starbucks hair at any given time. So
Right.
they had to have because
Right.
they were fleeing. They left all of the production facilities for their hair care products, so they had to take it all with them. So I imagine the last hours on Caprica, they're just raiding like local,
Beauty supply
local
stores.
beauty supply
Walmarts.
stores, yeah, it's like forget the food and medicine. We need the hair care products.
Okay, Space Walmart.
Yes. Caprica Walmart. Capramart.
See, yeah, if the Cylons wanted to destroy humanity, they should have made Space Walmart. Because, I mean, it would have taken longer, but, you know, it would have done the same thing.
Less
eventually.
work and a lot of profit.
A lot of profit, yes.
Right. Right.
Indeed.
All right. Now, you were going to tell our listeners about the Batawang.
Oh.
I think we need to get to that because we're beyond our limit here.
So, you want to hurry up and get to
I
Batman's
want to.
penis?
I do. I want to get to it and get it over with.
I want to get to it. Yeah.
Sean's been chomping at the bit to talk
I'm
about the
not-
Batawang.
I'm not a chomping.
Let's not talk about chomping. Maybe the wrong
The
verb.
wrong word, yeah. It's an
that-
issue, the first issue, I think, of Batman Damnation came out. And
And this
they-
is the comic.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it is. It's
Graphic novel.
graphic novel, comic, yeah.
No, it's just straight up comic.
Yeah, at this point.
Graphic novels are like the trade compilations of like 15.
In time,
comics.
when there's enough of them, they'll
Yeah.
probably make a graphic novel, but it's the start.
A graphic novel of the Batawang.
No, but the
Oh.
Batawang makes a cameo appearance, shall we say.
Yeah,
And it's
it's
like,
not the main
So
character.
tell our fans what that's all about.
what penises are all about?
No, what the Batawang. How did this whole thing come about?
You know, I don't know. It's like someone decided that they would draw. It's in a shadowy scene
Okay.
where Bruce Wayne is talking to himself and doing something, but he's naked, and they could have put the penis in shadow, but apparently it was
didn't.
time.
Oh, I didn't
It
realize
was
he
time.
was naked.
It's like-
So,
yeah. Yeah. And
Oh,
it's just-
see, I
it's-
thought he was. My feeling of from what I've heard
your
you say is
feeling
that
about
he was
Batman's penis.
in his costume and that
No,
just
oh.
the outline maybe was
That he
showing.
just,
what I
he
thought,
just,
too.
oh, that.
I thought this was just a continuation of the
So
codpiece.
you're talking about
Yeah.
Batman's moose knuckle, is what you're trying to say?
I don't know what that means.
I think you are. I do.
I have no idea what
I
that
think
means.
you can look it up. You can.
so
So anyway, so he's naked, he's in shadow, he's contemplative, talking to himself.
Just remember later on tonight when you're by yourself that you asked for this to happen. You asked for this conversation to happen. You begged me to do this.
I don't
like-
think
There was no
anybody
begging.
begged for
No,
this.
there was no begging.
And so probably
Chomping at the
don't
bit,
put up
I believe is the
pictures of
word.
what we're talking about right
No,
now, or
there will be
that's
no-
our clear
Well, are
rating.
they even out
Right.
there?
Goodbye.
Yeah. But no.
Oh yeah, there's pictures out there.
There are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you expect that this like came out in an issue of a comic and people weren't immediately scanning it and putting it online?
American values are so weird.
Now, when did this comic come out?
Oh, this month I think, or
Yeah,
last month.
Last month.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's a very recent thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And it's like they immediately that was the very first printing. After that, they blurred out the
That
Batawang.
section?
Yeah, they just kept the penis in shadow, perhaps where it should have always been.
Maybe we can just keep referring to it as Wang.
That is actually the internet started calling it the Batawang. So
Yeah, that's probably a whole lot better for the podcast. Is just to keep referring to it as the Batawang.
Yeah.
yeah, because it's in context. It's in context.
Right.
Yes.
And it doesn't sound as bad as just the penis word.
the penis or the Bataschlong or whatever word you want to use for it. And again, remember, you asked for this. You did. So
I was not chomping at the bit for this.
Once
Although,
again,
I would-
chomping bad word.
I would
choice.
say bat pole, but that was used in,
Right.
in the Adam West series.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Can't have the bat pole.
Right.
So
All right. Well, I think on that note, this is a perfect place to end the podcast for this week.
I think that's probably safer. Yes.
Yes.
It's all-
So,
I don't-
anyway, we'll,
have nobody to blame but yourself.
and John, well, thank
mostly
you.
John.
Mostly John. It's always John. Why? I don't know.
Always me.
It's always John.
It
Anyway,
is.
thank you all for tuning in for another episode. Next week, we're going to have some very startling news. We don't know what it is yet, but I'm sure something will happen.
And somehow
He
it's
did
going
this-
to be sexual, and I don't know how.
He did
but
this
it just
last
seems
time,
to
and I
be
think
the
he's
thing.
trying to make it a thing.
I know, and it's like I don't think. All right, wait a minute. We haven't shown that episode yet, so we could still have a surprise because I think that's the next episode. But then the episode after that, we have to have a surprise, or our
We're going to have a
audience is gonna
surprise.
be mad.
We're going to have a surprise in the next episode. I guarantee it.
Okay.
I'm holding you to this.
You hold me to it. You hold me to it. They'll hold me to it. And the audience will hold me to it.
It is. You know what? Someone told me they liked the audience. The audience that actually made the
Well,
show.
I like
better.
the audience.
Yeah. I do too, but it's like
As
people
do
like
I.
it. People out who are just listening
Oh, they like
actually
the audience.
enjoy having our audience.
Just
So
laugh.
I think what we may need to do is we may need to look for an official studio where we can have a live audience. We can have radio promotions where we give away tickets.
That's assuming the audience stays.
well, Pat and JT is over. We can take over the morning drive time at Suite
man.
98.
All right. Well, I think the peanut gallery is getting restless.
All right.
So anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Watch next week for a very exciting announcement. And
Like, subscribe, and rate us on your favorite podcast solution of choice.
when you're rating, don't consider John in the rating.
This isn't me. You made me do this. I am the victim here. It's like I
No.
am.
No, the audience is the victim here.
Audience is the victim.
Bill triggered me. It's like it's like all that
Thank you all.
PTSD.
Goodbye, all.
I hate you.
I'm Bill.
I'm Charles.
I'm John.
I'm Audie.
And I'm Seth.
Toodles. Don't come back now, you.
Toodles.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Galactic Driftwood podcast. For more information and past episodes, please visit our website at galacticdriftwood.space or subscribe to us on YouTube. And now, please deactivate your cranial downlinks, collect your towels, and be sure to watch your step as you exit our gravity well.